Hello everyone and welcome to your channel. Today in this video tutorial, we'll be discussing about a very important topic called HTML. Well, HTML is one of the most fundamental languages that is required for web development. So now without any further ado, let's get started. Well, first of all, let's discuss about the topics that we have to cover in this video tutorial. Today I'll tell you about the basics of HTML. Then we'll discuss like how we have to create and save these files. Then we'll discuss about the terms like tags and attributes. Then we have to discuss about various tags. And then I'll show you how we can insert images, we can insert text, we can use list, we can use tables, and we can work with links in our HTML pages. So now let's start with the introduction part first of all. Well, this HTML generally stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a basic language that is used for web development. And this HTML thing was invented by Tim Berners-Lee when he was inventing World Wide Web. Well, while he was inventing World Wide Web for the first time, then he just found this problem that for working with this World Wide Web, we also need some kind of programming language or some sort of scripting language which will help to create some web pages which are secure and which can also hold and represent our data in an attractive manner. And for that purpose, he invented this language that is termed as HTML or Hypertext Markup Language. Well, this HTML is a tag-based programming language, which simply means that in HTML, whatever we write, we generally write that thing in the form of some tags. Well, this HTML is generally used for creating and designing web pages. These web pages can help you in creating websites or some other kind of internet-based utilities. Now, every detail that you will write in your HTML page or in your web page, that has to be written in some tags. And these tags are termed as the fundamental elements of HTML. So it means that whatever we'll be writing or whatever we have to display, we have to write that all in these tags of HTML only. Opening tag and closing tag makes a complete pair of 90% of HTML tags. Well, this point simply means that in HTML, whatever we write, 90% of the data is enclosed between the opening and closing tag. Now let's discuss about this term, what is this opening tag and what is the closing tag. Well, whenever we write any element name in the angular brackets normally like this, then it is termed as a opening tag, because it marks the beginning or the start of tag. Now, just after writing this opening tag in HTML, we have to put our text. It means you will open your tag, you will write your text, and once when you are done with your text part, you have to close this tag also. And for closing the tag, you have to open the angular brackets, you have to put a slash, and then you have to write the tag name and you have to close the angular bracket. Well, this kind of structure is termed as closing tag. And this generally helps you to mark the end of your tag. And that is why it is very important to open and close all the tags of HTML properly. Now let's discuss further. HTML ignores all the extra spaces. Well, it simply means that whatever space you will give by using a space bar or enter key, if these are some extra spaces, which simply means that, for example, while writing a word, suppose I have given 2-3 spaces. Now, here we have these two extra spaces. So HTML will only ignore these two spaces and it will keep one space for the separation purpose. So it means HTML will ignore all the extra spaces to make your program a bit small in size. The next important point. HTML documents generally start with this opening HTML tag and all of these documents end with this closing HTML tag. So it means that in the beginning of your programs, you have to start with the opening HTML tag. Then you have to go with the flow of your code And while you are at the end of your code, you have to close the HTML tag like this. Now, whatever you will write in between this opening HTML tag and closing HTML tag will be read by the browser and will be considered as a HTML code. Now, whenever you are working with these HTML pages, it is must for us to save these pages with either .htm or with .html extensions. So, these extensions will help your computer, or these will help your web browser to identify the type of your page, and on that basis only it will display you the output. Now let's discuss about the applications that will be used with this HTML. So HTML codes can be written using any text editor, and output can be seen by using any web browser. Well, this point simply means that for writing these programs, we can use any kind of text editing application, and for checking the output, we can use any kind of web browser program. Now let's see how we will create and save these programs, and how we will save the output and check the output. Well, for working with the HTML, first of all, we need a text editing software. This text editing software will help you to save, edit, and create your HTML files. Well, for this purpose, you can use any text editor software. It can be Notepad, Sublime Text, Notepad++, Composer, or any other as per your wish. Well, for now, we will discuss the use of this Notepad only, but you can use any of these as per your wish. Now, once when you are done with this creation part and you have saved your file and you want to check your output, then for checking the output, the steps are very simple with this HTML. Well, for checking the output, we can use any kind of web browser program. It can be Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Safari, Internet Explorer, Edge, or any other mobile web browser you can use very easily to check the output of your HTML pages. Now I will show you how we can create these pages, but before that we have to discuss the structure of our HTML document. Well, if we talk about the structure of this HTML document, then it is the basic layout that we have to follow in all the HTML program. So that is why it is very important for us to learn the syntax or to learn this structure before going further with this HTML thing. Well, as I've told you earlier, that all our HTML programs generally begin with this opening tag and they end with this closing HTML tag. So that is why in the structure, these are the first and last elements of our program. Now, inside this HTML tag, our first segment will be this head section. Well, for marking this head section, we have to open the head tag, and inside this head tag, we have to open the title tag. Well, this title tag carries the title of your page. It means it will carry the text or content that will be displayed in the title bar of your web browser. And for marking the end of this title, we have to simply close this title with the slash symbol. Now, in this head section, we will store just a few things, like we can write this title thing. We can insert some elements like meta, script, style, and link. Fine. So we only have these these 5 elements which are used inside this head tag. That is this title tag, meta tag, script tag, style tag, and link tag. And once you are done with this title section or this head section, you have to close this head section. And the moment when you will just simply close this head section, it will mark the first element of your web page. That will be the head section. Now, after this, we have to open our second section of our page. That will be the largest section, and the most of the content of your page will be a part of this section only. So now let's talk about this largest section of this HTML, that is termed as body section. Well, this body section generally contains all the content or all the values or data items that you want to display in your page output. For example, you were creating any page and you want to write some headings, you want to insert some images there, and you want to insert some table over there. Then for that purpose, you can use the body tag, And inside body tag, you will write your headings, paragraphs, tables, and all the things. For example, for now in this structure, I have written this heading over this side. So now this heading is just a part of our page body. Then we have written two comments over this side. Well, these comments are something that will work for the reference of the programmer, and these will not be displayed in the output. It means they will not appear in the output. Now, once you are done with your content section of the page, you have to simply close the body tag and you have to close the HTML tag. And once you are done with the structure, you simply have to save your file. Now I will show you how we can create a very simple program and we can save it. So first of all, we have to open Notepad application. Well, opening Notepad application in the Windows computers is the most easiest thing to do. I'll share a shortcut with you guys. You simply have to press Windows key with R button. It will open the run prompt. And then you have to type Notepad. So let me show you how this generally works. So first we have to press Windows and R, then we have to type Notepad, and then we have to hit the OK button like this. It is that simple. Now, what we will do here we are about to create a very simple program where we will write one heading. Well, here we will write one heading and one paragraph. So I will show you how we can create a simple program with one heading and one paragraph in HTML. So first of all, I will increase the font size a bit so that you guys can easily see everything here in the display. I think this much of font size will be more than sufficient. Now, first we have to open the opening HTML tag that is like this. Inside this opening HTML tag, we have to open the head tag, and inside the head tag, we have to open the title tag. Now, because I'm using this word inside, it means we are working with a proper hierarchy. And in this hierarchy or in this pattern, whenever we are opening some tag inside some other tag, it is generally representing the wrapping of the tags and markup of the tags. Now, in the title section, we have to write a program title. So, for example, I'm using a program title as HTML tutorial 1, and then we are closing this title tag. Then we have to close the head tag. Well, this much of section that we have written just now, it will mark your head section. It means from this till this will be considered as the head section of your web page. Now, just after the head section, our next section will be the body section. So we have to simply write this term body here, and then inside this body we have to write one paragraph and we have to write one heading. So for writing headings in HTML, we have 6 tags available. We have some tags like h1, h2, h3, h4, h5 and h6. Well, all of these 6 tags can be used as the heading tags in HTML. But the most important thing is that here this h1 is considered as the largest heading, whereas this h6 is considered as the smallest heading. And if you move down in the hierarchy, then the heading sizes will start decreasing. It means h2 will be smaller in compared to h1, h3 will be smaller in compared to h2, similarly h4 will be smaller to h3, and h5 will be smaller to h4, and h6 will be smallest in the sequence. So now let me show you how these headings will generally work. So we simply have to open these h tags here, like h1 I'm writing just now, and then I'm putting this heading here, that is heading level, or I'm writing a dummy here, that is heading 1. And once you are done with this, you simply have to close the heading like this. Fine. So now I will create all the 6 heading levels so that we can differentiate between these all 6 in this simple program only. So for now, I'll copy and paste it 6 times. It is done now. And now we'll change the number to 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then here also we have to change it. That is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We already have one with us. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's it. So now we have created 6 headings in this program. Now let's head towards the paragraph part now. Now for creating paragraphs in HTML, we have a special tag called p tag. We have a tag called p tag, and this p tag generally helps you to write the paragraphs in your web page. So let me show you how this p tag generally works. Under the angular bracket, you simply have to write p, and then you have to simply put your paragraph after the closing bracket of p. So here's some dummy definition which I have copied just now. And now once you are done with this paragraph, you simply have to close the p tag like this. And after finishing a program, we have to close the body tag, and then at last we have to close the HTML tag. Now let's discuss about the most important elements here which you don't have to skip ever. Well, now whenever you are creating a program, it is very important for us to mention this head section, because this head section will give some information about your page to the web browser as well as to multiple applications and search engines. Now, if inside this by mistake you will put this title incorrectly, in that case, your output will not appear properly. And if in case you just forget to open this body tag and close this body tag, in that case also your output may not appear properly. And that is why it is very important in HTML to follow this syntax. Now let's save this program and check the output. So for saving this, I'll click on the file menu. Then we have to hit the save button, and then we have to select the folder or location where you want to save the program. So for now, I'm saving it in this files folder, and I'm giving it a name of program1.html. Then in the save as type option, we have to hit all files option. Okay, then we have to hit the save button, and that's it. It's that simple. Now, because we have saved this program, so let's quickly move to the desktop and open this file and check the output. So as you all can see that this file is by default opening with this Google Chrome application. And here you can see that we have these 6 heading levels. If I'll zoom and show you, you can see that we have total 6 heading levels. And as I've taught you just now, that H1 is the largest heading size and H6 is the smallest heading size. The same you can see from this output. And if we talk about this paragraph, then you can see that right now this text is appearing as a paragraph. And if you will compare this text to these headings, then you'll figure out this that these text items are by default equal to the heading size of H4. So now let's move to our presentations and let's discuss about this in more detail. Well, now next we have to discuss what are tags and attributes in HTML. Well, as of now we have created a very short program where I have shown you multiple things there. So now in these programs, whatever we are writing these inside these angular brackets, these are termed as tags or elements. Fine. So whatever we write in these angular brackets, these are termed as tags or elements. And these elements generally represents multiple objects of a web page. These elements generally represents multiple objects of a web page. Well, every data item in an HTML page should be enclosed within the tags, and data should be written between opening tag and closing tag. Well, as per these few rules of HTML, whatever data item we are writing in HTML, that data item must have to be a part of a tag. Now let's talk about this term attribute. Well, these attributes are some kind of additional information about our tags. For example, suppose you were creating a page and you want to display your page with a yellow color background. So for that we have an attribute called bg color that we can use. And this attribute will be used in the opening tag of body only. Let me show you how. So let's quickly open the notepad. Here it is. And in the body, as you guys can see, that in the opening tag only I have given a space, then I'm writing BG color and I'm giving the value of yellow. If we will save it and jump to our output part and refresh the page, you can see that our page got a yellow color background now. So it's very simple to use these attributes. These attributes are some kind of information about your web page, and these informations must have to be included in the opening tag only with a space, with just a single space. Fine. Now let's suppose you want to change the text color of this background, this whole page. Then for that we have an attribute called text. We can simply write text equals to, let's say, white, and hit the save button. Now reload the page and you can see that now this page is appearing with a white color text. Fine. Now let's suppose you want to change the color to the black of background, then you can simply write bg color equals to black. You have to hit the save button and that's it. Here you can see all the changes. You just have to simply refresh this page by using F5 shortcut key. Fine. So for refreshing the pages, we have to use F5 shortcut key. So now let's move back to our presentation and discuss about this more detail in the presentations now. So these attributes are some kind of additional information about a tag which changes the physical appearance of the data of a tag. So these attributes will generally help you to change the physical appearance of the data items that you will write inside your tags. Now, if we talk about the way of writing these attributes, then these attributes are written in the opening tag only, along with the tag name, separated by a space and followed by the tag values. Let me show you. In the example, as you all can see that here we have a tag, this font. It is the opening part and it is the closing part. Now in between this opening and closing brackets, we have this text over this side. Now let's suppose you want to display this text with red color in the output. Then for that we can use the color attribute of this font tag with this value red. Now in the output part, this text will appear with the red color. Fine. So this color is an attribute here which we have written in the font tag with a space only. And this color attribute is carrying a value of red. So this red can be considered as a value of our attribute. In the same manner, we have one more attribute used inside this. And you can see that we have separated, we are separating these attributes by just leaving some spaces. Now let's discuss about the tags of HTML. Well, in HTML, we have two types of tags. These tags are termed as container tags and empty tags. These container tags are the simple tags which have both opening elements as well as the closing elements. For example, right now we have discussed some tags, the heading tags and paragraph tag, HTML tag, head tag and body tag. So all of these tags are container in nature. It means these tags contain something and they have both opening as well as the closing element. For example, the P tag over this side. But our next category, empty tag, is a bit different from these container tags. In these empty tags, we only have this open tag. They doesn't have the closing part of the tag, first thing. Second most important thing, they doesn't carry any content. So they have no content in these tags. And that is why there is no need to close these tags also. For example, we have some tags like BR, HR, IMG, LI and some other tags. These tags are generally considered as empty tags. This BR tag is used to leave a line, whereas the HR tag is used to draw a line. Let me show you how. Suppose in this output, I want to draw a line over this side with yellow color, something like this. Then for that, in HTML, we have a tag called HR tag that we can use. So over here, we have to press the enter first, and then we can use this tag called HR, and then we have to hit the save button. Let's reload the page and see the change. As you can see, right now we got this line over this side, and if I'll zoom in and show you, the most important thing is that by default, if you are able to see this, then this line is a dual color line. It's a dual color line where the top is with gray color and this bottom part is with white color. Fine. So this dual color line is also considered as a shaded line. Now let's suppose you want a solid line. You don't want this kind of shading effect. Then for that, we have an attribute in HTML of this HR tag that is termed as no shade. Let me show you how this works. So we simply have to write no shade with this HR. We have to hit the save button. And when you will reload the output, you can see that now we got a solid line with gray color only. Fine. So like this, you can remove the gradient effect from your HR. Now let's suppose instead of this gray color line, we want a yellow color line. Or let's suppose we want a white colored line. So in that case, we can use an attribute called color in here. We have to simply write color equals to, and then we can write any value. For example, I'm writing yellow right now. So we have to save it. Then we have to open the output page. We have to reload it. And you can see we have got this line with the yellow color. Fine. Now similarly, suppose you want to leave a line after this word direction. Suppose you want to leave a line after this word direction. So if you will give a enter key over this side, like I'm pressing the enter key, you guys can see that I have left some lines. If I will save it and show you the output, then you can see that in the output there is no change. But if I will show you the source code of this page, you can see that in the source code we have these extra enters. Well, it is just because I have told you right now that in HTML we cannot give any extra space. But if in case you want to leave the line like this, then we have a tag called BR tag that we can use over this side. So here we will write BR instead of pressing enter key. And if you will write it twice, it will give you two line spaces. Let me show you how. Let's save this BR, reload the page, and you can see that we have got a line change here just after this word direction. And if we will write this term BR two times, like I'm about to copy and paste it, then you will see that it will leave extra line here. If you will paste it three times, sorry for this error. If you will paste it 3 or 4 times, then you will get many lines over this side. Fine. So it simply means that the number of BRs that you will write in your page, the number of line spaces you will get in your output. Now let's move further. Now let's talk about some basic tags of HTML. Well, the basic tags are HTML head, title, body, and then we have some comment tags also. So we'll discuss about this term body tag, but before that, let me explain you a few things about this HTML which we haven't discussed yet. Well, this HTML term is generally stands for hypertext markup language. Well, here this term hypertext simply means that some text with links. Fine. Plus it is beautified. So this term hypertext simply means that some kind of beautified text with the links. And this term markup means to wrap up something. Fine. This term markup means to wrap up the things, and in other words we can say that it simply means to bind the things in tags, to bind the things or contents or values in the tags. So if we talk about this term markup, then it simply explains us the use of these container tags of HTML. Then we have this term language. This language means a mode of communication which is generally used to explain something to any user or to any machine by using any programming language. So this HTML is a type of language that generally help us to create some pages where we can have some beautified text with the links and some other elements. All of these texts are binded in some tags, and it's a kind of language which will interact with your web browser. That is the main reason why it is very important for us to use this term HTML in the beginning of all the programs. Now inside this we have this head and title section, which I've told you just now that this section works as the header section of your page, and this title will carry the text of the title bar. Now next to this we have this body and its attributes. So now let's discuss about this term body and its attribute. Now body tag is the main container tag of a HTML program which contains all the elements of a web page. which are to be displayed in the web browser. So it simply means that whatever you have to display in the web browser, you have to write that all thing in your body tag. Now, in this body tag, we have certain attributes. Out of this, we have discussed two attributes just now, that was BG color and text one. Well, we have some attributes here which can be used with this. These few attributes are BG color, background. Then we have these three attributes which are generally used with the A tag. Then we have attribute called text, and then we have four margin attributes for multiple types of margins. Well, this BG color attribute is generally used to give a background color, whereas this background attribute is used to give a background image in our page. Then next we have this text attribute. This text attribute is generally used to set the text color in our page. And similarly, we have these four margin attributes, and these four margin attributes are generally used to give the margin spaces in our program. So before discussing the comment tag, let's do one thing. Let's create a very simple program where I will show you the practical implementation of this comment, and along with that, we will try our best to put a background image in our page. So we are back into this program which we have created just now. So now here what I will do, I will remove this BG color black from this side like this, and instead of using this BG color, I will use this background attribute here. So I have written background equals to double quotes. Now in between this background, like double quotes of the background, here we have to pass the file path plus file name plus file extension. Fine. So first let me search a file in my computer. So let's open the desktop, and here I might have some folders. For example, if you guys are able to see over the side, I have this background folder, and in this background folder I have this background over the side which is my favorite one. So first I'll rename it to BG, or like any name. I'm giving it any name for now. So we simply have to right click on an image, we have to go to the properties option, and then we have to select the file location from here. Now, while you are copying the file location, you also have to keep two things in your mind, and these two things are file name and file extension. Now let's quickly move to our notepad and let's paste the file location. Now after pasting the file location, you have to put the slash symbol. You have to write your file name, that was Annie.jpg. That's it, and then you have to save button. Now let's reload the page and check the output. So it was our previous output, and after reloading, as you can see that we are getting an image here in the background. But because that image is very large in size, that is why we are not able to see the image in our page properly. Fine. In HTML, you cannot modify the behavior of the background image, but by using CSS, we can do so. Okay. So now let's apply any other image which may have some smaller font size. For example, I think this one will be having it. So I've copied the file name, and let's change the file name quickly. So in place of Annie, I'm typing this name. Let's save it, reload the page, and as you can see that this image is better in compared to the previous one because इसका most of the part हम लोगों को page में visible है. So like this we can use the background images. Now let's suppose while I was creating this program, suddenly I realized that I have to write one more paragraph here, but for now I don't have the content of the paragraph. And I want to leave something here for my reference so that when next time I will read this page, I can easily understand that what I have left and from where I have to begin. So for that purpose, we can use comments in HTML. These comments will generally work as a checkpoint for the programmer, and these comments will help the programmer to track the things in his program. And for writing these comments, we have to follow a very simple syntax. We have to put the angular bracket, then we have to put this exclamation mark, and then we have to put two hyphens. After doing this much, you have to write your text. Once you are done with your text, you have to put two hyphens and you have to close the angular bracket like this. And it will be considered as a comment by our web browsers. Let me show you how this works. So here we will write this, and then I've written it's a comment. Then hit the save button, open the page, let's reload it, and as you can see that we have nothing in the output. But if I will show you the source code of the page, then you can see that in the source code this comment is appearing with a green color. Well, keep one thing in the mind, that whenever you will open the page source code, you will be able to find all the tags with this purple color, all the attributes with the brown color, all the values with the blue color, all the comments with the green color, and all the text with the black color. These are some color combinations that you must have to know. It is not compulsory to remember this or to learn this, but you must have to at least have a knowledge about this thing. Fine. So today we have discussed a number of things. Let's move to our presentations, and then there we will summarize everything. So today I have taught you about the comments, the body tag and its attributes. Then we have discussed about some types of tags, tags and attributes, structure of HTML document, creating and saving a program, and introduction of HTML. So with this, here we end our class. In the next turn, I will try my best to cover all the remaining portions of HTML with you guys, and I will try my best to cover this HTML topic in 2 or 3 videos only. So if you have any doubt or query, you can contact me on my email address, that is contact@computorial.in. If you feel like that this email is not giving you responses back, in that case you can use this one, that is computorial@gmail.com, or you can also visit our website, and in the feed box you can leave your feeds there. So thank you so much everyone. If you like this video, then hit the like button, subscribe the channel, and share this with your friend.